So far we've worked with image collection of images. Earth Engine is kind of started as a system for remote sensing, but then soon people realized that even if you're working with satellite data, you still need some vector data. So you say, I want images for my admin region. You need admin boundaries. You want to analyze your hydrological basins. You need the boundaries of a basin. You need road data. Like you have a lot of this vector data that is also useful for your analysis. So Earth Engine started adding vector data to the catalog. So along with image collections, Earth Engine also has a lot of feature collections. Most of these are in form of boundaries, which you can use to figure out a region. Instead of drawing polygons or dropping points, you can use the actual data of the actual boundaries to use that. Let's search for this dataset. There's this dataset called Gaul, which is a UN FAO dataset of admin boundaries. They have admin 0, which is country boundary, admin 1, states, admin 2, counties or districts, depending on where you are, and those are vector data. Let's see this one, admin 2 layers. So these are all the admin 2 boundaries, which you can use. You can see the dataset description looks slightly different because this is vector data. So you have your description. You don't have bands, right? You have instead your table. So if you have a shapefile with attribute table, this is your attribute table. So if you upload a shapefile to Earth Engine, your attribute table will become properties. And these are the columns that you have. So this is the data where you have the name of the admin 0, admin 2, and so on. So let's look at this data. So I will import this. When you import a feature collection, that will come as a variable called table. I'll just change it to admin 2. So I have this variable, admin 2, which is all the admin boundaries. Let me just add it to the map. Right now, let's just see what this looks like. And you can see these are all the admin boundaries of the world. So admin 2. Right? And with Earth Engine, again, you start with everything, right? You have all admin 2 boundaries, and it's actual geometry of the actual boundary. Let's inspect some value. So I'll go to, say, I want to go to Bangalore, and I want to use the admin boundary for this city. I can go to inspector and click on this polygon. And using inspector, it says I have matched one feature. This is the polygon, and these are the properties. So you can see this is what the data is. This is the kind of attribute table of this data. That this one as admin 2 name is Bangalore urban, admin 1 name is the state, admin 0 is the country, and it's got some other data. And this, you have information about this for every city. You can also, let's go to San Francisco. I can click San Francisco here. And you can see this one is, admin 2 is San Francisco, admin 1 is California, admin 0 is United States. Let's say I want to do this median composite for San Francisco. So instead of dropping a point or a polygon, I want to actually get this boundary. We have the shape here, right, in this data. We want to extract this. The same concepts apply. We can do a filter. So I can say I want to apply a filter to select the stuff from my admin 2, which is San Francisco. Okay? So I want to filter to admin 2 name equals San Francisco. Right? How do I write this filter? Can anybody help me write this filter? I want to find out all polygons where the admin 2 name is San Francisco. So this polygon. Which filter do I use? Yeah.
We will go with filter metadata, and the name of the category will be admin2 name, and we will check for the filter with equal.
Yeah, so you can filter metadata, don't use deprecated, right? So we want to compare this. Which filter do we use?
Equal.
Equals, right? So it'll say this property equals San Francisco. So let's use this filter. And we'll say ADM2 name. And we have to get the name exactly how it is spelled in data. Right? In the data, it might be spelled differently. So make sure when you're doing the exercise for your own region, you first inspect it and find out what your city or region is called exactly in the dataset. So we have this filtered data. Let's look at the filtered data. And we can do some visualization parameters. For vector data, you can specify color. So I'll just say default is black. We'll just leave it as this. We'll say admin2. And I'll say this filtered one, I want to do it in color red. So you can see now I have selected this polygon for my admin2 region. So we filtered it down to the filter that this. So again, for vector data, you just say, I'll take the thing, find the polygon for my region, filter it down, and you can use this as your geometry. In the next script, we'll say, take this geometry and use it to filter and clip and all of that. A word of caution when using admin2 boundaries, admin2 names are not unique for many parts of the world. Right? If you say Washington County, you'll get one polygon in every state in the US. Right? So if you want to do this properly, you would also add an admin1 filter. So we'll say, find me all polygons where admin2 is San Francisco and admin1 is California. Right? So this will select the polygon that you want. So the way you do this is go and find your region, find the admin1, admin2 region. For many countries, like in India, those are mostly unique, but again, depending on the region, it may not be unique. So I generally like to do at least both admin1 and 2 filters for your region. Questions? Yeah.
Since this is a geometry, so there's no object ID that instead of using the name?
Yeah, well, let's. Some of the datasets have a unique ID within the data. So this one doesn't have a unique ID. There's one code here, but there's no ID. Earth Engine assigns a unique ID to this data. So you can see ID. When you upload any data, each feature gets a unique, this long hexadecimal ID. And you can refer to this feature with this ID. So you can also say filter ID equals this, and it will work. So if you don't have a kind of name, just have an ID, you can use the ID to filter that. Remember, in filter, if you want to use ID, this is called system::index. So if I want to do this, I'll say E filter equals system::index of this. This is just an internal representation. And again, I've talked to Earth Engine team, please fix that. It's for legacy reasons. I said, at least just say this as system::index, not ID, but at least that's there. So.
Sorry, so related. So this ID generated when you import the geometry, let's say, and you could save it. So even if you start a new project, this ID is going to stay the same.
Yeah, so this one, when Earth Engine team imported this was assigned. So if you use the data from the catalog, the ID is stable. If you upload your own data, again, you get an ID, which is stable, so you can keep referring to that. But if you upload the same data again, you'll get a new ID. We can also kind of do things like, let's say I want all counties in California. So I can just apply a filter, say admin1, California, and I get all counties in California, right? So you can apply a filter in kind of any way you want. Pop quiz. How do I select all counties in California and Nevada? So Nevada is the neighboring state. Let's say I'm doing some analysis. I want all admin2 in California and Nevada. Can anybody find a filter that can work? Yes?
Yeah, as he said, we could use and another filter.
And will not work because you say, I want to find all polygons where admin1 name is California and Nevada. There's no polygon where the admin1 name is both.
Yeah, we could use that filter and at the end put and then a new filter for Nevada.
You need to do or. So this or that. because and means.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can do, there's a way to combine filters with or. By default, when you combine two filters, it's and. So again, there's no counties that match. But if there's a better way, there's a better filter. Anybody can find a better filter?
Can you just copy line 7 into line 8 and
So when you do this, so if you say, I want to do nothing, because they're saying, give me all polygons where admin one name is both California and Nevada. There's no polygon with that, because the filters are applied as and by default. Anybody finds that filter? You're going to get a prize for this. Whoever finds this filter. Raise your hand and talk it out. But what filter would you use with the list?
Or?
There's a better filter. So find a filter. Instead of combining two filters, you can do in list, no, not list contains. Similar, almost there.
String contains?
No, it's not string contains. In list, yes, you go. So there is a filter called filter in list, which says give a list and any items from the list that match that. So you can say filter in list, where admin one name should be so you know. So now you know why you need to learn how to define list, because then you can use filters like this. So you can see now I have counties from both Nevada and this. Super helpful where you say I want to work with 5 different regions, or I want to work with like all countries in Africa. And you can just give a list of countries that you want to work with. And you can do this. Right? And the point was, again, when you have a problem like this, look in the documentation. And you will find a filter that does this. Let's do the exercise 5C. When you run this code, you will see the admin 2 layer just added there. Go to your city or region of interest, inspect that, find the admin 1, admin 2 name, apply a filter, and display that on the map. So I want you to filter to the region of interest for your admin 2 region and display that region in blue color. I say this is blue color. And feel free to copy the code. Like, I don't expect any of you to remember the syntax at this point. So go to B and maybe copy the code for this and say, okay, I'm going to copy this code and come here and you can paste it and change the names of those. Doing exercise 5C in part 1. And remember, this name has to be exactly matching the data. So make sure you go and inspect that. So switch to Inspector tab, go run the script. You'll see all the polygons. Inspect it, find the extent name, and copy paste that. 2 more minutes before lunch.
I'm not sure if you covered it. What is it about filter that requires the lowercase and uppercase?
Yeah, so the question is, the filter syntax is a bit confusing. There's a lowercase filter and then there's an uppercase filter. So the filter has 2 parts. The first one is saying to apply a filter, you need to use a function called a filter. So there's a small case function. It says a function that says, give me an image collection, I'll run a filter. So this filter will apply the filter. The input to this, it says, to apply this filter, I need a filter object which knows how to filter the data. So the input to this is a filter object. How do you create a filter object? It's using this e.filter module. So here in the docs, you see the e.filter. All of these are capital. So this will create, for example, a filter object that knows how to filter objects from a list.
So now that itself is a function or it is?
It's a function that returns a filter.
Okay.
And once you have a filter object, you can say, I have a filter object, I want to apply it. And say, okay, run this function called filter, which takes an object to apply a filter and it applies that.
Okay, thank you.
So you can do this, like, to understand this, you can also do this as 2 steps. Same thing, right? So you say, first I'll create a filter object, and once I have a filter object, the dot filter function takes a filter object to that. Yes, you need help?
Sorry, I'm back at lesson 1. How do I see?
Yeah, just run it. And then inspector. And now you can click anywhere to see the name.
I can't because there's nothing's happening.
Yeah, this is just map.add layer. It's added it here to the map.
Yeah. Okay.
And now if you click here, this will show you the name of the feature you just clicked.
How do you, where's the documentation to look up the names?
Look at the inspector and click on the feature that you want. So go to Terran and click
Click what?
wherever you want, whichever feature you want.
Oh, okay. It's here.
Yeah, and you can see now what that polygon will be called. So let's just first, you can search for. So now you go and click this. It says this one is called Tehran and Tehran and Iran.
Okay,
So.
thanks.
All right, we are ready for the break. Just let me show you once again how you would do this. Let's say I want to find the polygon for Sunnyvale, right? So you would search for the region, and you'll have this data loaded on the map. And you'll say, okay, I'm here, and I want to inspect it, and you click here, and this will say this particular feature. So when you click on it, it'll show you wherever you clicked. This one is San Mateo County. So then I would say I want to know filter to admin to name San Mateo. And admin one name is California. So to know this, you will have to first load the layer, switch to inspector, and then click on the polygon that you want. And then you will see that it will display that in your region. So again, if you didn't do it, please catch one of us during the break. We'll show you how to do this, because in the next step, we'll have to know what are the admin regions that you selected. So you can do this. All right, time for break. We are doing good on time. We are on track to finish the workshop by 4 p.m., maybe a little bit earlier. We have a couple of scripts in this, and then we'll finish this after lunch. There's a quiz, and then we'll do part 2. and we'll try to wrap it up by 4 p.m. So just request everybody to be here sharp at 1:30 so we can start on time. Right? See you all. Thank you.